Hi, this is Mato. In this video I will show you the games in Magnus Carlsen and Viswanathan. This is game 4 from the World Chess Championship that was played in Sochi in 2014. World champion Magnus Carlsen had white pieces and he started with e4. Challenger Viswanathan played c5, knight to f3, and Anand played e6, avoiding d6 and bishop to b5 variation. So Anand is going for Taimanov or Carlsen variation of the Sicilian defense. However, instead of d4, the standard move, Carlsen played g3, sidestepping both Taimanov and Carlsen variation. Knight to c6, bishop to g2, black to move. Black plays in this position. Sometimes knight to f6, sometimes g6, d6, and d5. This is what Anand played. E takes on d5, e takes on d5, and Carlsen castle kingside. d4 was another move. Knight to f6, d4, bishop to e7, bishop to e3, c takes on d4, knight takes on d4, black to move. Caruana is the only elite player to have had this position before as black, and both times he castled kingside. Anand played bishop to g4, attacking the queen. Queen to d3, queen to d7, preventing h3. Black has equalized. Knight to d2, and Anand castled kingside. Knight from 2 to f3, rook from f to e8, rook from f to e1, bishop to d6, c3, h6, queen to f1. Why? White wants to play h3. Anand played bishop to h5. Bishop is going to g6 and then to e4 to oppose white bishop on g2. h3, bishop to g6, rook from a to d1, rook from a to d8. White to move. Note that white has isolated the queen's pawn. But now Carlsen captured the knight on c6 with knight, and black has no longer isolated the queen's pawn. But his pawn on a file is very weak now. c4. Anand had many choices in this position. He played bishop to e4. Another move was bishop to b4, attacking the rook. And after rook to e8, queen to b7. He can play queen to b7 immediately. But he can play bishop to c2, attacking the rook. And after rook to c1, bishop to e4. So white rook is no longer lying with black queen. But we have immediately bishop to e4. Bishop to d4. Knight to h7. Perhaps rook to e6 would be the best move. Knight to h7. C takes on d5. Bishop takes on d5. Rook takes rook. Rook takes rook. Queen to d3. How about queen to a6? Is that good? Attacking the pawn on a7. But then queen to f5, threatening to win a piece. So we have queen to d3, knight to f8, knight to h4. In the interview after the game, Carlsen said that he thought there was a better move than this one. Maybe bishop to c3. Okay, we have knight to h4, bishop to e5, bishop takes bishop on d5, queen takes on d5, bishop takes bishop on e5, queen takes bishop on e5, attacking the pawn on b2. b3, knight to e6. Who is better, white or black? 27 moves have been played, and Material is equal, but white has a better pawn structure. Is it enough to win a game? Let's have a look. Knight to f3, attacking the queen. Queen to f6. King to g2. Rook to d8. In the interview after the game, Carlsen said that queen to c2 was better. Rook to d5. Rook takes rook. Pawn takes rook. Knight to e5. The knight is going to c6. That was the idea. How should black continue? Anand played queen to f5. And now Carlsen changed his mind and played knight to d3. Perhaps the best is knight to f3. And what is wrong with knight to c6? Attacking the pawn, threatening knight to e7 check, winning the queen. It's black to move. How would you continue if you had black pieces? And also, it will show why Carlsen didn't play knight to c6. This is the move that Anand would play. Check, forking the king and the queen, and after, of course, pawn takes knight. Queen to g6, check, forking the king and the knight, and after king to h2, queen takes on c6. And now white also has a bad pawn structure. We have knight to d3, knight to d4, attacking the queen. Perhaps queen to d1 comes to mind, defending the knight and f3 square. Carlsen played g4. Queen to d7 was played. How about taking the queen? Is that good? If knight takes queen, pawn takes queen, then knight to c3 attacking the pawn, and after the logical a3 or a4, king to f8. This also looks good for black. We have queen to d7, queen to e5, knight to e6, king to g3, queen to b5 attacking the knight, knight to f4, and knights are exchanged. 38 moves have been played and Carlsen has less than a minute on his clock. Queen to b4 check, king to f3, d4, queen to e8 check, king to h7, queen takes pawn. Queen to d2, check. What if queen takes pawn? Is that good? If queen takes pawn on a7, then perhaps check, and after king to g2, d3, queen to d7, d2, and then again will be a draw by perpetual. We have queen to f5 check, king to h8, h4. The idea is to play g5, pawn takes pawn, g6, queen to f8, checkmate. Black to move. Queen takes pawn. There is no time for g5 because queen takes pawn check. Queen to e6, defending the pawn, and draw is in the area. Queen to d2, queen to e8 check, king to h7, queen to e4 check, king to h8, check, king to h7, draw. From the interview after the game, it could be concluded that Carlsen was not happy with his game and with the moves he made. What about Anand? Anand was happy and pleased to draw with black pieces. What do you think of this game? And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.